This series is about outstanding architecture from around America. From stunning residential to public spaces to commercial. This is an architectural deep dive to uncover the incredible stories behind each design. Welcome to America by Design. Our ByDesign industry experts had selected innovative, inspiring and award-winning projects.
I believe everybody can feel good design. When you live in a space that's designed well, you will feel it and appreciate it.
I think that the public does know when they experience good design, especially in today's world of Instagrammable moments. It's about just taking the time and attention to experience and feel that there's something special about this moment and this place.
Let's get started with our first project.
This is Cherry Hills Village on the outskirts of Denver. It's a rural escape in an urban setting, and it's where Boss Architecture created the beautiful Origami House. Jessica, what a bold and interesting statement.
Thank you, Mike. Our clients really wanted a house that would change the way they lived, that would connect to the landscape and to this rural property around them. It turned into something very special.
Oh, well, can we stop? Because I feel like we're walking past the best part.
This is a great moment. The house sits on a triangular site, and so the roof follows that shape and folds down onto this rustic boulder. So this boulder becomes the spring point of the modern architecture.
Oh my goodness. You said that the family wanted a house that would change the way they lived.
They did. They wanted a space that would be available to their extended family and their friends, where they could cook and dine and celebrate together.
I mean, surely this is how we all want to live.
I don't disagree.
Now, Jana, you're the interior designer.
Yes.
But really, you two worked hand in hand here.
Yes, we did. So many times interior designers work in a silo, but we were really integrated in this project.
And that's a unique process in the industry as a whole, but is not unique to our office. We develop all of our projects this way, and it gives us a seamless design inside and out.
There's always a high importance placed on the design of a kitchen, and you've come up with some solutions here.
The heart of this kitchen is this two-sided cooking island. Everybody in the family cooks, and this was a practical social solution.
We bookended the space with this island on each side so the whole family can be together while they're cooking. And then we dropped these super simple, quiet concrete pendants to add a layer of warmth.
Tell me about this.
We spent an afternoon at the stone collection with our clients searching for the perfect stone. Everyone fell in love with this California quartzite. It seems to pull in the palette of the house just perfectly.
The backsplash behind the sink is a blackened steel panel. Aspen Leaf Kitchens built all the millwork in the house, but we worked with them really closely so that we could create these very subtle hidden pocket doors that lead to the pantry on one side and then offer us some spice storage on the other side.
And then, Jessica, the party just spills out onto this.
It does. The backyard offers the family a private oasis with a pool, an outdoor shower, a small area with a fire pit over here, and it lets the family relax, but also offers kind of a natural flow when they have parties.
And I see the boulders are back.
The boulders are back. Marpa, our landscape architect, did such a nice job. They've used the boulders as a theme around the property, and here they're using it to blend the edge of landscape and hardscape.
I think it's a good day when the materials you're working with are boulders.
It is a good day. Who knew boulder shopping would be part of my job description?
So Mike, I think of this as an art installation that you also dine at. What I did here was take the 4 classic elements and express them in different ways in the feature. The light fixture takes the form of a cloud, which is air. The wood, table, concrete, plinth, and steel represents earth. And the ombre rug is water.
Okay, and how about the chairs?
Now, the chairs are reminiscent of the rock out front, but the people that sit in them bring the energy.
Ah, clever.
Mike, I really wanted to bring you into the primary suite. It's a place not everybody gets to see, but it's one of my favorite spaces.
What an exotic looking tub.
It's actually a very traditional Japanese tub. Try taking off this cover.
Okay.
So the tub is big enough for two, and it's made out of hinoki, which is a traditional Japanese cedar.
Oh, that
you smell
essence, the fragrance.
When you heat it up with water, it actually comes out even stronger, so it creates a very relaxing
Beautiful.
experience, yeah.
What about privacy?
So we used a product that allows these windows to become opaque. So when you push a button,
Oh,
the neighbors go away. But that allows you also the privilege of the view when you're soaking in the tub.
yeah. Is this just me, or you're mostly using exterior materials on this side of the house?
You're right, yeah. So at the window well and at the stairwell, we really break the architecture. And we do that by defining different volumes on each side. The wood siding comes from outside to inside. And then as you look back towards the kitchen, we start using interior materials again.
Oh, yeah. Now back to this. Is that Japanese technique of where they burn the timber?
Shishugiban. It isn't, but it is inspired by that technique. We collaborated with Delta Millworks to develop a wire brushed akoya that we stained black, which allowed us to use that as an inspiration, but have a product that could handle a Colorado climate.
Now this is very Japanese inspired, surely.
It is. And so at the bottom of the stairs, we've brought this rock garden into the house, and it flows in from the outside. But we've used this moment to provide this artful arrangement of lights and plants, and it creates a separation between the social part of the house, the public part of the house, and the guest bedrooms that are just down this hallway.
Now, Jeremy, I've come back out here because this boulder intrigues me. And you're the builder.
Yes.
I bet you know a lot about this.
Yes.
Was it here?
Oh, no. We got this about 2.5 hours outside of, in the mountains outside of Denver. And we had to bring it back down here in a semi.
You're kidding? Well, how much of it are we looking at here?
So it's kind of like the iceberg. So if you think about the Titanic, this is the very top of it, and there's about, 60 or 70% buried below ground. I mean, not only does it tie the entire house together, but it also provides an entire structural element for the entire roof.
Oh, so it's not just decorative.
Oh, no, it's definitely structural. Besides being a beautiful piece of art, it literally is carrying the entire roof.
Jessica was telling me you wanted a house that changed the way you live. Is that what you got?
Well, we're living the dream for sure, and one of the things that was really important to me was to live in a home that was sustainable, efficient, environmentally responsible, and healthy.
Sometimes you don't know necessarily what you want, but at the same time, the architects, the builders, they help you discover those things that you value. It really serves as a refuge from busy world, busy jobs, and much more a place of calm and peace. It allows us to regroup and refocus.
There are so many memorable moments at Origami House, but this is a classic fusion of modernist architecture meets nature. And when I think back on this project, let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to be thinking about this move.
Post Houston is a really great example of architectural reuse and adaptive redesign into what was an empty warehouse space into a dynamic cultural and civic hub for the neighboring community.
Once a bustling post office, Post Houston is a masterclass in modern reuse. The Barbara Jordan Post Office was originally designed in the 1960s for functionality, not flair. But now it's a buzzing hotspot, complete with rooftop views, bold design, and the epic 713 Music Hall. Wow, so right out of the gate, I can tell that this building is really special.
Absolutely. It was built in 1959 and opened to the public in 1962. Built according to the FBI security standards at the time were the height of the Cold War, and it was meant to withstand a nuclear Armageddon. The robustness of the thing made it possible to support one of the largest rooftop gardens and parks in the United States.
I mean, I guess if you could take a bomb, you can support a park. Well, it seems like we have a lot to explore.
Absolutely. With any real estate project, where you start is knowing where you are and where you come from. Now, the city of Houston is the largest city in the American South, fourth largest city in the United States, and it's a boom town with more and more people moving this city every year. With that means smaller and smaller spaces. So we thought of this building as a series of urban living rooms, 3 atriums with distinct staircases that are supposed to serve different functions, ranging from giant coffee shop and plant nursery to a food hall and an events center.
And whenever I think of Houston, I think of heat. How do you handle the climate?
Absolutely, Houston is devilishly hot in the summers. People are looking for places to socialize, but sheltered from the sun. These rooftop structures here, called ETFE pillows, they let in the full spectrum of natural light, which allows us to have a functioning plant nursery. They're actually originally developed by NASA, so something that from Space Center Houston to post-Houston.
And it seems like we have a lot of vibrancy already happening down below. You know, it is pretty hard to believe that this was once a post office.
Yeah, it was really an undifferentiated field of columns and darkness, and to make it all work, we cut 3 different atriums into it to bring light and also activity in throughout the building.
You also brought in this thing, which is a remarkable staircase.
Yeah, each of these atriums is anchored by a distinctive stair. So here there's a double helix called the O stair, and we built it with a company called Synergy. They worked with us to develop this structural aluminum set of treads that runs all the way up, and then that's framed by this diaphanous stainless steel mesh that also houses the lighting that makes the whole thing a kind of a glowing beacon in the space.
As big as this space is over here, when we start to transition to this side, it feels so much smaller and more intimate.
Yeah, we wanted the food hall to have the density of an Asian night market, so a place where you really felt in with other people eating. And so we did this series of kiosks that are different scales and shapes that could also house a diversity of vendors. Each of these kiosks is capped by a glowing structure. The glowing part is formed by this luminescent panel from a company called Seabright. It's transparent, but it's also luminous, so it glows, and you can even see it from above in the sky at night.
I love when architecture looks good and tastes good. Every staircase in this building, it feels so special.
This stair, the Z stair, is really a cascade of places. So each of the landings becomes a big meeting room, not just a place to rest briefly. And we wanted it to be warm and inviting, so we clad it together with a fabricator called Rumi with a stained oak. So even the handrails are clad in wood.
It feels kind of like a clubhouse. I actually want to see what's up here and explore this landing area.
Yeah, this is a big open space, and we wanted to also make different ways to occupy it at different levels of privacy. So having this perch up here means that you feel part of the action, but you're also tucked away enough to have a meeting and feel private and be able to work.
Or take the obligatory selfie. Let's do it. I feel so much shame. So this is the oldest part of the building?
Yes, and now it serves as the entry for 713 Music Hall, a 5,000 person performance venue. There's a bar behind us, a circular bar referencing these circular columns, and we wanted to layer the space with a series of Texas and Houston associations. So there's aluminized fabric behind us on the wall that's a kind of heat shield material referencing NASA. There's cattle fencing, and then over here there's this light display on one of the spy tunnels that's almost like Friday night lights, so field lights at a football game.
From one bar to another.
Yeah, we really wanted to surround the venue with hospitality. So there's bars on every side of the venue. On the 2 sides here, the bars glow. There's actually the same Seabright lighting panel that we used in the food hall.
And of course, here we are in the main space. I love how you can see the different layers of the old building and the incredible stage.
Yeah, we still wanted to let the rawness of the existing space show through here. When you look back behind us here, there's over 600 seats that are fixed seats in a tribune. We worked with Dream Seat, a seat manufacturer, to customize one of their seats to make every component blue so that we had a very monochromatic backdrop for the audience, but also for the performers. That's almost like a bleacher, and we wanted to also make spaces behind the bleachers that you could escape from the main action here to get a drink, have a conversation, or meet somebody.
So here we are on the roof.
Yes, we're actually standing on a skylight because this whole roof serves as a filter to bring daylight into the offices and also the atriums.
A roof is one thing, but it's also a park.
Yes, it's a 5.5-acre rooftop park that we designed together with Herr Schout. It has a diversity of uses from a farm to big spaces for events to smaller meandering paths that take you to more intimate spaces.
And this amazing view.
That's one of the first things that we noticed when we came here before we did anything else to the building. And it's something that we and Kirby wanted to give back to the city.
And now that you've given it back, I mean, how has it been received by the city?
Well, for me, the real hallmark of success is when it's no longer my building or our building, but their building. And when I say they, I mean the people of the city of Houston and the birds and the bees that make this their home. And we at Post have had the special privilege of celebrating milestone events for a lot of people, proposals and weddings. And I just cannot be prouder that we took this concept and made it into reality.
From mail to music, Post Houston delivers again. Here, light becomes art and staircases become social spaces. It's proof that preserving the past can help shape a smarter and more vibrant future.
The Wharf, D.C. represents a 0 to 10 approach of turning what had been a forgotten area into an incredible destination.
When you think of Washington, D.C, a whole bunch of places and icons spring to mind. Museums, Washington Monument, and then there's this, the Wharf. It's literally been transformational for this city, and it started with one man. Monty.
Hey.
So this is all yours.
Well, yeah, it's everybody's now. The Wharf is everybody.
Yeah. But you were here for meeting one. What was the original vision?
We wanted to have a mix of different types of uses.
I mean, you got 2 churches.
Yeah.
What else you got?
You can sin at night and pray in the morning. I mean, you got it all here. We have the churches here. We have a lot of pubs, restaurants, 4 hotels, concert halls, 1 million square feet of trophy office. Sure, I have to say it was one of the best adventures of my life. 20 years to get to, today.
You're kidding. Yeah, was your beard gray back then?
I had no beard back then. I couldn't grow a beard back then. It was a long time ago. But to see how it was shaped, evolved, and where it is today is really fulfilling.
So I bet you like seeing your work from here.
Love it. We had 4 acts of Congress to arrive at this, 8 local legislative hearings to change certain laws to allow us to do this. Part of the reason of the 2 phases in the scale, large scale of each phase, was we had to change perception of what used to be called the Southwest waterfront. And we couldn't do that with one small building at a time.
Yeah.
We had to really actually make a new community out of it.
So it's kind of like 2 big bangs, like here we are.
I love waterfronts. I've had the chance to work on a lot of waterfronts.
Oh, come on, Hillary. What's some tips and tricks?
Well, I think the most important lesson is to start with the water plan.
Okay, that's kind of anti-intuitive. I kind of would have thought you start at the land and don't worry too much about the water.
You only get one chance to get the water right.
Yeah, interesting.
A lot of plans put parks in front. Instead of doing that, we put the most active, vibrant uses. This is what's called a wooner.
A wooner? Okay, what's that?
A curbless street environment. So on the average Monday, people can have cars driving down here, but on the weekend and when the events are coming, they close it off and then it becomes one continuous public realm for people to enjoy the outdoor space.
Okay.
There's no sidewalks, there's no railings, and there's a lot of cafe zones forming for a really dynamic, active environment.
Now, Hillary, I understand you've been noticed. This project's been noticed.
It has become a model for a lot of cities and countries to come for reference.
Well, Omar, a huge theater. This is unexpected.
Yes, this is Anthem Hall, and it's a 3,000 seated venue, and 6,000 standing, and is providing just that mid-size venue space for events to occur. We partnered with the Rockwell Group, who were the lead designers for the space, and you can see that the railings, which are designed almost like festooning that you might find on traditional buildings in the district. You can also see it in the stage where we have these curtains that are perforated metal panels, so giving it this wharf-like atmosphere.
My understanding is the residential must be butted right up against this theatre.
So it's not only above it, but also encircling 360 degrees around the structure. But properly designing an acoustical envelope around this venue is key for it all to work. So remember the music venue we were just in?
Yeah.
So we are now right on top of it.
Wow, swimming pool and all.
Swimming pool and all. And in fact, you can actually see all the way through the monumental core. You see the tower of the Smithsonian Castle, and beyond that, the dome of the Natural History Museum. And in a way, extending the city to the water's edge.
And the material choices.
So the material choices, again, were guided by this philosophy that we wanted to create buildings that felt authentic to the wharf. So we worked with Potomac Valley to create a very specific blend of 3 different brick colors, but also textures to create that organic quality that we see here.
They're so wonderfully higgledy-piggledy.
You're probably referring to this asymmetrical arrangement of precast panels, which were supplied to us by ACD, precast concrete. That layer of precast adds another level of scale to the building.
All right, I got us a couple margaritas here. This is what we're famous for down here at Cantina Bambina. Margaritas and sunsets. It's what we do.
What could be more nicer?
It's a good time.
So you were here before all of this?
Absolutely. There's nothing down here.
I mean, Richard, you must be a pig in mud.
Yes, a pig in mud. Absolutely. There was a lot of mud during construction, but now everything's been pretty good. I like what they did where they had, I guess, different architects do each building. So while it was all built at once, each building has its own style, a lot of different restaurants.
Yeah.
You can find something for everybody down here. And then you've got us serving margaritas in a plastic cup. So we, you know.
I think you're my kind of place. Now, Hilary, I know there's a story about these posts.
There is. So this is called District Wharf, and it's where the tall ships are envisioned for docking for the city. So the goal was to take the iconic masts of the ship and march them all the way along from the very end of the pier, all the way back and across to the city side.
Ah, what a wonderful connection to the city. Something I've noticed is all these people taking Insta photos. As a designer, do you think about where's the Insta moments?
You think about it, but you gotta remember this project is 20 years old. So when we first started, this was about postcards. What is gonna end up on the postcard, not what is gonna end up on Instagram.
From the building program to the material choices, there are so many techniques layered here to create an authentic waterfront destination.
I love this project. The designers at Woods Bagot took the Australian outback and plopped it into New York. I mean, you just feel it as you walk through the space. They did such a great job.
Often design is about making simple, smart choices, and that is really the case at the American Australian Association.
Here we are, blocks from the UN, where the world comes to connect, in one of the most international neighborhoods in Manhattan. And we're here to see the American Australian Association's headquarters. Krista, what an incredible backdrop and view to work with.
Yeah, we were really lucky that our site was positioned in between 3 very iconic New York City landmarks. We have the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and the UN, and we're smack in the middle of it.
Unmistakably New York. This is the American Australian Association. Tell me about what they do and their mission.
Yes, so their main goal is to strengthen bonds between the 2 countries through culture, commerce, and community.
And you must have had to work with the idea of Australia as part of the design driver here.
Yes, well, we already had the New York City piece that was
represented nicely there, yeah.
So we needed to bring a lot more references to Australia into the space. So the Australian outback became a very strong contrast to the gray rectilinear New York City skyline. So we have punches of color, we have the organic forms, and just a much warmer, vibrant feeling. We're entering into the welcome bar right now, and it was very important as we were designing the space to have this more intimate area, because otherwise you're just walking into an open, empty event space. And you could see somebody sitting here during the day to get some work done, or coming in the evening for a cocktail reception and a bartender being back there serving.
It's a little early for me to have a drink.
I mean, it's at least a month early for me.
You got a ways to go. And the palette is, I mean, it's very soothing and warm. I mean, one of the things that struck me about Sydney when I traveled there was the contrast between the beach and the city. And I feel like I've sunk my feet into the sand of Bondi Beach here.
Yes, so this material on the floor is a hand-troweled cementitious material. So as you can see, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of natural qualities within it, and it's really meant to feel very organic. Actually, a lot of the materials that you see in the space were sourced from Australian companies. And it was a challenge for me. This is not a natural color palette that my design inclinations tend towards.
Wow, and I noticed that it also appears in the art.
Yes, and that was sort of a happy accident. When the painting was originally commissioned, we didn't know what it was going to look like. It was painted by Indigenous women, and the subject matter are these healing plants that are found within their community. And they sent the painting to promote healing energy for the organization to support its own health. And it showed up, and it just matched our color palette perfectly.
You know you're doing something right when there's that kind of serendipity.
Yes. Another great thing about the space is the way that we were able to engineer the space for really great acoustics. We have a spray acoustic treatment up on the ceiling. I think that's kind of primarily doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We also exposed the ceiling and we boxed out all of the structural beams. So having the sound be able to be captured up in those kind of nooks and crannies helps a lot. And then behind all of our wood battens, we have acoustic material as well.
Clearly this is a multifunction event space, but that's only half the story here.
Then you have to go behind the wall or behind the curtain, so to speak, and we have our everyday workspace. So beyond the event space, this is where all the really important conversations happen.
I could see big decisions getting made in this room.
Which is why we gave this room the best view of the UN to be reminded of how important this space is.
Balancing social space and workspace is tricky, and this is the room that really does it.
Yes, it's the middle of the Venn diagram between the event space and the workspace.
And it's a little more buttoned up, but it also still feels very comfortable.
Yes, we continued a lot of the material palette from the event space into here, but it's just a little bit more clean and finessed. And my favorite feature, our hidden door back into the workspace.
And the VIP entrance.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to come back and celebrate both of your projects
in a month.
So much of what architects and interior designers do is bring meaning to spaces that could otherwise just be a collection of products. And this project beautifully brings a little bit of down under up to the 34th floor in Manhattan.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series, go to bydesign.global.